You're tuned in to Nerd Overload, your weekly show for video games, movies, TV shows, comics, tech news, and more. Sponsored in part by MB Subculture Comics and Costumes. Now your hosts, Cody Pinnick, Samantha Cross, Sam Dunham, and Josh Harrison.
Hey Amiibros, it's time for another Nerd Overload, your pop and geek culture show that covers everything in the news that came out this week. I'm Josh.
I'm Sam.
I'm Cody.
And I'm Samantha.
We have a great show for you this week. Thank you for tuning in. We have a bunch of news, but as always, let's get into some things we've been checking out.
Well, I have something kind of special.
Okay.
I saw a few weeks ago. I've been chomping at the bit to talk about this.
Okay.
We haven't been on the last couple shows.
I'm excited.
But I saw on Twitter where Jon Benjamin released a jazz album where he plays piano. Thing is, he doesn't know how to play the piano.
Oh my god.
It's called, Well, I Should Have. And there's an asterisk. And the bottom says, Learn to Play the Piano. And he's playing with a bunch of really good jazz people. Musicians. And
He's just clanging away on a piano.
Oh,
Yes.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay, for those who don't know, Jon Benjamin, he's the voice of Bob from Bob's Burger. He's
Archer.
Coach
McGurk from Home Movies.
Yeah.
He's been in a lot of stuff.
Jon Benjamin of Jon Benjamin Has a Van.
Yeah.
Oh, he's so funny.
He's a short little dude.
Oh my god.
It just kills me. I didn't know, people not playing the piano well is hilarious to me. But it is.
Oh wow.
But it'll be the three guys just playing some pretty awesome jazz licks, and then it'll get quiet and you'll hear
We'll probably have to stop and play it. You can, it's at Sub Pop, right?
yeah, it's on Sub Pop Records.
Oh, that is awesome.
Yeah, maybe you should put in a little bit of it.
Okay, yeah, I'll put some in right here. Okay, yeah, that was awesome. Oh man.
You can buy a vinyl of it for $16, I believe, or buy it digitally, I think for 10.
Okay.
I'm so
5 or
tempted
6
to get the
tracks.
vinyl.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It'd be oh, I'll put on a jazz record.
That's one classy dinner party.
Yeah.
Oh, that is just awesome.
I don't even know.
Yeah, there's a short little mini documentary thing on YouTube that we watched too, and it's just great hearing him talk about getting into the process, and then at one point just saying, I don't know how to play piano, and I don't really like jazz.
Oh man, those poor artists who actually thought they were coming in to do something.
Do a legitimate jazz album. Because their stuff sounds really good.
Oh,
They
yeah.
get some really good jazz.
Oh yeah,
And they're like, we don't get it.
he might be a visionary.
I don't know.
Oh, and I don't know if you saw on the Sub Pop,
Lauren Boucard, I think.
Yeah.
Is from
he
Bob's
mixed the last song on the track, so he's involved a little bit.
Oh,
I
really?
haven't heard it though.
Who's that?
Burgers. The creator of Bob's Burgers. and
Oh,
Home
okay,
Movies.
okay. That's
He's
awesome.
involved with a lot of music on those shows, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why there's so much music in Bob's Burgers.
Gotcha.
Which lately, every episode of Bob's Burgers has a little song during the credits, and they're all hilarious.
Yeah, because mostly it's a little song that Linda or somebody sang during the.
Yeah, they'll elaborate on it in the credits.
What's that one that was basically the Goonies ripoff?
Oh,
the one they went looking for some mob treasure in a bubble gum or a taffy
but
factory or something.
Yeah.
There was a song.
yeah, there was the Goonies Are Good Enough knockoff song in it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh man, that's the episode where Linda and Bob try to have a date night at home because the kids are out. And they have to go looking for them. There's more to it, but I'm not sure if I can talk about it.
It's not radio appropriate.
I love Bob's Burgers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I talked a little bit about Lego Dimensions last week and how good the Doctor Who level pack was for that. Well, on the other side of the spectrum, I played the Back to the Future level pack.
Oh, another time traveling pack.
Yeah. Apparently, I only buy the time travel but it was not good at all.
Oh,
Because it's just like basically an abridged version of the first movie, except only with Doc and Marty.
really?
Yeah.
No Biff, no anything?
No.
Ah.
You start as Marty in Doc's little shack, and you go meet him at the JCPenney parking lot to do the time machine thing, and then you end up in the future, and you get back, and you put together the thing on the clock tower, and then it's over.
Ah. That's a bummer.
Yeah, it's like a solid, 5-10 minutes of gameplay, and
Wow.
that's it.
And how much was the pack?
$30.
Oh my god. For 10 minutes of gameplay.
Yeah, well, I mean, you get
You get a tiny DeLorean and a little Doc, right? Or a little Marty.
Little Marty and a hoverboard.
Ah.
And you also unlock the Back to the Future world, which is like a little open world area where you do little missions. Which
Okay, that
was kind of neat.
That's not bad. But...
Yeah, and it plays the Huey Lewis song.
Oh, cool.
So, I mean, that's kind of cool, but the actual story-based level was just garbage.
Ah.
Which is weird when the Doctor Who one was just amazing.
Yeah. You think that with this being, the 30th anniversary of Back to the Future 2, they would have put a little more time and effort into their pack, but...
I wonder if they just didn't want to pay Christopher Lloyd and... oh my god, I'm blanking on his name.
Marty McErb.
Michael J. Fox.
Michael J. Fox.
Yeah.
Yeah, to voice act for more than
What they did.
Like one day or whatever. That's weird.
Well, it's great when you have the Doctor get into the DeLorean. He's not impressed with it.
Oh, no.
He's like, I could save the world 3 times before this baby hits 88 miles per hour. Back to the TARDIS.
That's pretty great.
So, I mean, it's not a complete waste of money, but don't expect a lot out of that level.
Okay. So you're saying when the first wave of these Lego Dimension sets go on sale, that's when I should pick that one up?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, the sets are cool. The little DeLorean is really cool. The upgrades, I finally got to a point where I could upgrade one of the vehicles, and they just have you take it apart and rebuild it slightly different.
Oh, that's interesting.
And it's pretty cool. The DeLorean becomes an electric DeLorean, and there's a little, like light stuff on the back of it instead of just regular.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, and then the third upgrade, you get to take it apart, put it back together, is the hovering version.
Oh, nice.
You know where you're going, you don't need roads.
Right now, I still do.
Roads.
Roads. Other than that, I've just been, doing final projects for school and studying.
Oh, yeah, that's always fun.
School's lame.
But important. Stay in school, kids.
Yeah, stay in school. Don't smoke.
I haven't really done a whole lot.
Wow, that sounds like me.
I know. I'm a little behind.
Is it because you've been working? Because then you'll be sounding exactly like me.
A little bit,
Okay.
yeah. But I don't know. I'm behind on so much stuff. But I did watch the season finale of Doctor Who.
Oh, yeah, we
I was
watched
going to
that
ask
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can talk about that.
It was a good episode, actually.
Yeah, it was really good. And they fixed all of the problems I had with the one before it that made me mad.
Yeah.
To keep it spoiler light.
But we got to go back to Gallifrey.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That was very cool.
Yeah.
And I remembered how much I hated those stupid 70s, 80s sci-fi collars they wear.
Yeah, the president's weird outfit, the Time Lord president.
Yeah.
Wait, is that Timothy Dalton still the Time Lord president?
No, he's still Rassilon, but he's a different guy.
Aw,
I think Timothy Dalton died in that episode.
that's a shame. He's a good actor.
He really is.
Played a convincing Nazi in The Rocketeer.
Yeah. Well, I enjoy him in a lot of stuff. Like Hot Fuzz. I love him in Hot
He
Fuzz.
was great in Hot Fuzz.
That's one of my favorite movies of all
It's
time.
a great movie. It's of the trilogy, I think it's my favorite.
Oh man, Flash Gordon. He was in that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That one James Bond movie. Just the one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not a good one.
Oh, but my favorite turn is in that he does is in Toy Story 3, where he plays the Shakespearean actor Porcupine wearing the
Mr.
lederhosen.
Prickly Pants.
He is Mr. Prickly Pants for like 2 lines.
Oh my god, that almost reminds me when I was watching. God, I'm gonna feel bad for saying this. Romeo and Juliet.
I watched it.
That was a decent movie.
Yeah.
Patrick Stewart as the statue of Shakespeare.
Yes, that was inspired.
Oh,
casting.
did you guys see they're making another kind of one of those?
It's a spiritual sequel.
Yeah.
it's,
Also with gnomes.
Sherlock Gnome.
Yeah.
That's it.
Anyway, Doctor Who. Get off the subject of
Gnome films.
Gnome films.
Yeah.
Though I feel like I'm doing my people proud. But I really liked the episode. I mean, it was really, really good. I mean, we had the last episode where Capaldi proves he can carry an entire episode, for the most part, completely by himself. But it was really interesting going back to Gallifrey and seeing, like, the ruins of his house. And it's weird because then they say he was a highborn Time Lord or whatever. And I'm like, then why is your house a shack in the middle of the desert?
Why do you live in a barn?
Why do you live in a van down by the river?
Well, Lottie frickin' da Geronimo.
He goes to Gallifrey and he just steamrolls everybody.
I know.
I love
pretty
it.
awesome.
Like, he's, like, standing there, like, in the barn and kind of just standing where his, like, child version of himself was having nightmares in that bed episode. And they, and that lady comes in and, like, you can't be in here, you know, I'm keeping it for the boys. And, like, even though Time Lords change their faces, apparently there's something about them where you know who they are. And he's just staring down at her, and she's, like, almost like the second coming. Well, I guess it kind of was, wasn't it? Yeah. With the way they revered the Doctor so much.
I want to know who that lady is. Like, who is that lady to the
Don't know
Doctor?
if is it his, I don't know if it's his mom or like some kind of caregiver.
It's like because I think he's an orphan.
Yeah, maybe it was like an orphanage kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't know, but
That just makes me think of Miami Connection.
my father.
I thought we were all orphans.
That movie is so bad.
Go watch that movie. It's on Netflix, I think. It's great.
Oh god.
Anyway, sorry to derail.
Yeah, but he's like, he's just hanging out, and there's like a crowd of like peasants just kind of around him, and then the Time Lords like get an alarm, a cloister bell alarm like the TARDIS has, and it's basically the Doctor's back.
And they like send progressively higher up Gallifreyans to meet him in each one. And he just kind of steamrolls each one.
Yeah, first they send like a ship with a gunner in it. He's like, "You need to come with me, Doctor," and then he just like walks over, draws a line in the sand,
Like
and,
with his foot.
with his foot, goes back to this table where he's eating soup, and like all the peasants are like clapping and cheering and stuff, and
Just with like very little words.
No,
too.
very
It's little.
very
Amazing.
That's great.
little, and like I think it was like Rassilon or Larson or the general. I can't remember. Like, what is he doing? And then like the head lady of the cult or the Sisterhood of Karn was like, I think he's going to finish his soup. I just kind of had like a little giggle about it.
Wait a minute, the Sisterhood of Karn. I recognize that.
Yeah, they've popped up a few times.
That was in that episode where they had the guy
The
who
Eighth
put his
Doctor.
brain inside a monster.
Yeah, way back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's one of my favorite episodes.
That's an old Baker episode.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep, them and they're in that episode, or that little mini episode with Paul McGann.
Okay, see, you've lost me. I just know the
he
one
was
where
the
they.
eighth. He was the Eighth Doctor who was only in that movie, and they did a short little before the 50th anniversary came out, where it shows him regenerating into John Hurt.
Okay, that's right. Yep. Okay.
That was them.
I just know the episode with Morbius. Is it Morbius?
I think it's basically like the Doctor Who version of Roman from
Yeah,
Robot
and,
Monster.
and that's why I love it so much.
The episode, the whole episode was good, and I love when Rassilon himself finally shows up and is basically telling the Doctor, "You need to come with me, blah blah blah. I'm the president. You need to listen to me, blah blah blah." And like he tries to get these soldiers to firing squad him, and they all miss on purpose.
Oh, that's great.
And they're like, "Yeah," and the one guy's like, when it comes to the Doctor of War, he has no weapons, and then he crosses the line and stands on the other side with the Doctor. And it's this kind of a slow moment, and they all drop their guns on the ground.
His weapon is words.
Yes, his weapons is words. And they go to Rassilon goes to kill him, and like this head general of Gallifrey would like kind of grabs him. He goes because the Doctor looks at Rassilon and goes, "Get off my planet." And then this general guy grabs him and goes, "You heard what he said. Get off his planet." Oh, it's so
that's
good.
cool.
He basically just has a coup. He
You coos,
puts a coup on the entire planet.
That's cool.
There are very few times that I have felt very terrible for a Dalek, Oh my god.
Oh, the one in the...
stuck down in the basement. And it's like, exterminate me.
Was this the episode where he got his own not TARDIS,
Sonic Screwdriver?
Sonic Screwdriver?
Yes.
Yeah. And it glows and stuff?
It is awesome.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool one.
Okay, I saw a picture of it. I'm like, okay, I can get rid of the glasses for that. That's cool.
I am excited for it. I can't wait to have it next to my other one. It's like blue and flashy and
kind of calls back to the TARDIS a little bit.
Yeah, it's TARDIS. It's TARDIS blue and gold, and it has like this spinny blue light on top of it.
That's very cool.
It's very cool. And unfortunately, we don't get another episode till Christmas.
Yeah.
But it's got River Song in it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of worth the wait.
And a big red robot that looks like Baymax.
Nice.
I thought he looked kind of like Onslaught from Marvel.
I don't know who that is. It probably looks more like that, though.
Yeah. I'm wondering if they're doing a callback to the one priesthood that cuts people's heads off, though. Because it's just a dude's head.
Huh.
Yeah. The big robot suit is basically his mech body. And he can take his head off, like Futurama style.
Oh, nice.
Man, I want to talk about spoilers, though.
I wouldn't. Don't worry about it. We can later.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We could do a full Doctor Who episode sometime in the future if we want to.
After the Christmas one, we could talk about the whole season.
There you go.
Yeah,
Perfect.
there we go.
Well, I actually have a couple of things I've checked out. Yeah. Earlier this week, I got a wild hair and decided to reread Crisis on Infinite Earths, the DC.
Wow.
Yeah, like the first major crossover. The abridged version of it is back in the 70s and 80s. DC came up with the idea that there are multiple universes where all of their stories that they had ever told all took place on different Earths, and it was making like the through line storyline really convoluted. And Crisis on Infinite Earths was like their attempt to unify all of the different multiple Earths into one continuity where, everything happened at once. So like you had one Earth where the Justice Society was active in World War II. Another one but there was no Justice League. There was one where there was a Justice League but no Justice Society. The Justice League formed in the 70s and 80s. Mm-hmm. There's an Earth where it was just Shazam, with just Captain Marvel and his stuff. There's an Earth where Nazis took over, and that's where the Freedom Fighters came from. Uncle Sam, Phantom Lady, Human Bomb, those characters. There was Earth 3, which is the reverse Earth, where the good guys are bad guys, and you have the Crime Syndicate of America instead of the Justice League.
With Ultraman and Johnny Quick. And
yeah, and there was like just a ton of like where they tried to tell every single story ever.
Huh.
So what Crisis on Infinite Earths did was it unified them all into one Earth where, you had the Justice Society in World War II, and then the Justice League came, and they were like mentored by the Justice Society. And it changed all these different things. It solved a lot of problems, like major problems with continuity, and it was the story, looking back on it, the story probably could have been told in 6 issues instead of like 12, which is what it was done. Mm-hmm. It also caused a lot of problems, which leads me to the next comic I read, which was 0 Hour, which came out about a year after it, where they tried, which was just to fix all the problems that Crisis on Infinite Earths created while trying to fix all the problems from before. Like how there were like multiple versions of Hawkman, because Hawkman was a member of the Justice Society during World War II, and also a member of the Justice League in the 70s, but they're 2 different Hawkmen with the exact same name and very similar backstories. So they tried to unify those 2 characters into one
Hawk dude.
One Hawk dude and one Hawk lady dude.
It's like they should release patch notes with these.
That's 0 Hour. It was a patch. It was a patch for the DC continuity.
6th issue with multiple Hawkmen.
Yeah.
Herobrine has been removed.
Yes. Yeah, but I mean they're good. Crisis is great. 0 Hour is okay.
What was the one where Flash died?
Crisis.
Was that Crisis?
That was
okay,
Crisis.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. 0 Hour is the one where Parallax is the major villain. He tried to erase the universe and rebuild it out of Green Lantern energy into the planet that he wanted.
This is Hal's Parallax.
Hal's
right?
Parallax. Yeah.
After he went nuts.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And part of the things that came out of that was the new Hawkman, and Guy Gardner became the alien warrior where he could turn his arms into guns.
Yeah.
Because the 90s.
Yeah. Yeah.
And a couple of other different things.
Goofy things.
And they've had to correct it over and over again. Yeah, I did that, and the other thing was Humble Bundle, which is like a really cheap way to get awesome.
It's a charity.
It's a charity to get awesome video games. I usually don't, you know me, I don't buy a whole lot of video games, but this one was too good to pass up. It was SNK, Neo Geo like classic games, and it's like Metal Slug and
Like all the Metal Slugs.
just about all the Metal Slugs, and there's a baseball game. But the ones that I was really interested in was the Art of Fighting and
all the King of Fighters.
all the King of Fighter games.
There's a Last Blade in there. Last Blade's really good.
Samurai Showdown's in there.
I love
Mark of
Samurai
the
Showdown.
Wolves.
Yeah, Garo.
Samurai Showdown is the best.
So, and it was $10 for like 15 or 20 games.
So worth it.
And I mean, shoot, the King of Fighters 98 on Steam is $15. So I mean, you're by itself. So you're like saving a ton of money.
Oh yeah,
And giving to charity.
And
Yeah.
and giving to charity.
That's
It was
like-
Red
that's like-
Cross this time, I think it was.
I think I generally always put when I do it to UNICEF.
Ah, okay.
But I remember when the Star Wars one came out, and I pumped in like $12 and got like 16 Star Wars games.
Oh yeah.
It was amazing.
Yeah, I mean, for $10, I just got a massive list of games, more games than I'll ever play.
Oh yeah.
But it was great, and I've been playing a lot of King of Fighters because
You love fighting games.
fighting games are kind of my thing. That's really
it's
more
your
than
niche.
anything. That's my niche, and I'm really rusty. I haven't played them in so long. I'm incredibly rusty, and I'm used to using like Street Fighter commands on them, and a lot of times they're not in King of Fighters. They're close, but they're not quite. And there's not as many charged characters. There's a few more Shoto characters. If Shoto characters like Ken and Ryu,
Yeah.
where you have the fireball, the uppercut, and the kick. Yeah, those kind of commands.
At least it's not like Mortal Kombat where you do forward, back, and then a button. Like, it's the actual motions.
Yeah, there are motions, and some of the motions. There's like 720s where you have to like
God.
spin the stick twice and like mash buttons to try to get throws down. And one I finally did. The boss character from one of the games is a playable in '98, and it is his name's Geese Howard. He has a character where you actually have to make a pretzel motion with the stick, like an actual like backwards and then up and around and back and down and everything. It's like practically have to like just jiggle the stick over and over. But I finally did. I was never able to do that. Do his Rising Thunder, or Rising Typhoon, or whatever it's called. But I finally did it. It's in practice mode. Didn't count, but whatever. It's great, and I love the art style because it's classic 2D sprites.
Yeah.
And the shading that SNK did on their characters is just out of this world great.
Yeah, I always super dug King of Fighters.
I really did too.
Yeah.
Maybe more than Street Fighter.
I Street Fighter is always going to be my number one, but King of Fighters, especially '98. In 2002 is okay, is pretty good too, but it was built on the '98 engine. Is probably one of the most solid. Like, I mean, the combos are really tight, and the mix-ups are really tight, and it's a really good game. And the Humble Bundles, well, it's probably done now.
No, I think it's still, well,
By the time this airs.
yeah, I don't know.
It runs for about a week.
Yeah.
Okay, well then it's probably still going because I think it started in the middle of last week.
Yeah,
didn't
they
it?
run for about a week.
Ori
Okay.
Yagami is the best. He's my favorite King of Fighters character.
Which one?
Ori, the guy with the red hair. Am I
Oh.
pronouncing his name wrong?
Oh, Iori.
Iori?
Yeah. He's a definite Shoto character. He's like the evil like Kyo, who's like fire powers and stuff. I play a lot with Terry Bogard.
Busta Wolf.
Yeah, I love like his broken English.
Yeah.
It's like it's a Japanese voice actor because the game that's in the Humble Bundle is the Japanese language one, but Terry Bogard's is like broken English. It's like Power Geyser.
I think my first exposure to King of Fighters ever was like the animated movie.
Oh, that's so bad. Oh, which one? There's a couple of them.
I can't remember. I remember the ninja chick fights somebody on the steps of some temple or something.
It's the one where they made up the villain where he's like getting like armor from Mars.
Yeah, like some kind of god armor or something.
That movie's so bad.
It was really,
But
really
it has
bad.
it has one of my favorite characters, Kim Kapuan. the Taekwondo master.
Oh, yeah.
He's just this normal dude who's, he does everything like a normal guy, but he hates evil. He hates evil so much. There's a scene in that movie where a bad guy shows up and like pushes someone down, and Terry and
his brother
Andy are about to fight him, and Kim's in the audience. He goes, "I got this, guys," and proceeds to get his just butt handed to him. But he just he sees evil and he just wants to put his foot in evil's face so hard that it can't see anymore. Just hates it. He hates evil.
It can't be as bad as that one Street Fighter anime where Ryu and Ken are just the best of friends.
Oh, they are the best of friends. Yeah.
That's not the one where Chun-Li fights Vega in her apartment, is it?
It might be. I don't know. I didn't watch all of it.
No, I think you're thinking of the movie Street Fighter: The Legend of Chun-Li.
No. This was an animated movie.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, because Guile is he was voiced by I almost want to say who was voiced by Jet from Cowboy Bebop, but he's stuck in New York traffic trying to get to her because he can hear her getting attacked on the cell phone.
Oh, jeez. Have you seen the Saturday morning cartoon of Street Fighter?
No.
Yeah.
Not since I
man.
was a child.
Oh, it is based loosely on the movie, the live action movie.
Oh God.
But they look like their game characters. So Blanca is Carlos Blanca, his buddy Charlie, and all this stuff. It's
The live action movie is so bad.
yeah.
You mean great?
The live action one. Oh, with Raul Julia
As
Bison.
Yeah. The day I destroyed your village was the day that changed your life. For me, it was a Tuesday.
It was a Tuesday. Oh, he paid all of his minions in bison dollars, which will be worth the equivalent of 5 British pounds as soon as he kidnaps the queen.
God.
It's so dumb, but I love
dumbest.
it. I love it. Okay, hey, we got to take a break. So when we come back, we'll be talking about some news.
Yay.
Nerd Overload is sponsored in part by MB Subculture Comics and Costumes. MB Subculture is the one-stop shop for all your geeky needs, from comics and collectibles to unique custom costumes, masks, makeup, and more. MB Subculture is located at 127 South Sandusky Avenue in downtown Bucyrus, 419-562-0404, and online at subcultureoh.com. Hey, we're back. That was I Can't Play Piano Part 2 by Jon Benjamin off of the Well I Should Have album. I can't get enough. Thank you again. You kept that a secret until we started recording, and I'm so glad you did because, oh man.
that week that we discovered it, we were just listening to it off and on constantly. I'd be sitting there all of a sudden I'd hear bum 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 ding ding ding.
Oh man! All right. Well, hey, we have a little bit of news to get into. I think we're going to start with the PlayStation Experience.
It's apparently a thing Sony does now. They've done it for a couple of years.
It's like a Nintendo Direct, but PlayStation.
Yeah. Well, they have their own little con, I guess.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, it's Sony Con 2015. They did all their big announcements, which there was some fun ones.
Okay.
Well, they showed off their VR headset, the PlayStation VR.
Cool.
I don't think they put a price on it, did they?
Not that I saw.
No, because nobody wants to price their VR technology yet. But they had a lot of neat games for that. One of them being Rez, that old music game was it from the Dreamcast? For the Dreamcast? I think it was from the Dreamcast. There's a lot of psychedelic wireframe shooting.
That would be really good for a VR.
Yeah, it should work really well in VR. I think the creator of it came out in a full body glowing VR suit.
Oh, that's awesome.
It was ridiculous. They revealed the final Street Fighter character.
Yeah, Fang or Fong. I don't know.
They pronounced it both ways during the reveal.
They did. In the game, he calls himself Fong.
It's probably Fong.
Yeah. It's an interesting design.
He's a very thin man.
He's a weirdo.
Yeah.
He's much like Rufus from Street Fighter 4, where the last reveal is just some straight up weirdo. But it's like they took the model for a Chinese traditional Chinese fighter guy and just like stretched him out, so he's like really long
and skinny
yeah.
features. But they put like a baggy coat on him.
Yeah, and the voice actor is definitely doing a James Hong impression. It's interesting. I like the way he throws those fireballs. They like bounce off, ricochet off the ceiling and stuff.
And he flaps his arms like a bird.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
weird.
It's weird. I've seen a lot of people not like it because he's too weird, but you're coming from a game series that has a big green monster man who's been a staple in the series every game.
Electric Green Monsterman.
Yeah,
So-
he's like the Wolverine of Street Fighter.
really
Blanca,
is.
yeah. But no, I'm interested. I'm sure when it gets to like tournament play, no one's going to use them. It'll just be Ken and probably Alex once the DLC comes out. But whatever.
I don't know. I like Dhalsim.
No one likes Dhalsim.
I like him.
Well, you're the only one. Everyone hates Dhalsim for some
He's
reason.
low tier trash.
Yeah. Although I like Dhalsim's new design with the beard, but I think we've talked about that
Yes, we
before.
have.
Yeah.
A lot of people got beards in the Street Fighter.
Yeah. Bearded Street Fighter is a good Street Fighter. But I'm a little biased.
Not gonna see any butt slaps out of Armika, but
No.
that's another story.
But there might be a bearded butt.
Yeah.
Bearded
Yeah,
butt.
if they put a beard on Armika's butt, then that'll be great. Yeah, everyone will love it. Big old butt beard.
Make it happen.
Yeah.
They showed for the first time the remastered version of Day of the Tentacle.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
What? I didn't
Yeah.
see that.
Yeah, they did. I wasn't terribly impressed. It looks like they just upscaled the sprites and like redrew them instead of like going from scratch
And make it a whole new game.
Yeah, which I mean it's incredibly accurate to the original game while looking better. But I don't know. I guess I was expecting more out of it. But still, I mean that's a great game, and you could play it in its original form and still have a good time. So
Cool.
it'll be worth getting when it comes out. In that same note, they also announced they're doing the same thing to Full Throttle.
Okay.
Which is an awesome classic
It is. Yeah.
LucasArts adventure biker gang game by Tim Schafer. I played that a lot when I was a kid. That was a big deal for me. I think that was the first game I ever got on CD-ROM.
Nice.
Full Throttle.
Nice.
Also, 100-foot robot golf.
That sounds great.
Oh
Which is exactly what it sounds like. It's giant robots playing golf in cities.
And destroying them.
Yeah, you watch the trailer because it's pretty good.
Yeah.
And it has some references to Evangelion that are great.
An anime with giant robots, if you don't know it.
We shouldn't have to explain what Evangelion is.
Well, I don't. Well, I guess even I know that it's giant robots and weird stuff. In
Yeah.
that, I guess. But that's a VR game too, right?
It has a VR mode.
Okay.
I think it's...
So you can play regular without spending a ton of money.
Yeah,
Okay. Cool.
supposedly. Nobody knows how much this headset's going to be.
Yeah.
I've heard everywhere from $250 to like $400, so who knows?
Wow.
No thanks.
All I know is I won't have one either way.
Speaking of which, I bought a Google Cardboard headset.
Yeah. How is it?
It's neat.
Is it putting a cardboard thing over your phone and putting it on your head?
Yeah, it's exactly what it is, but it works. I mean, it looks 3D, and when you look around in these little worlds. I mean, I haven't found any, like, great apps that have been like, okay, this makes it worth it, but I haven't spent a lot of time with it.
It's cool. I've seen the Viewmaster is putting out like a plastic thing to work with it, but I think they also work with the cardboard.
Yeah, it
system as
basically
well.
is a Viewmaster. I mean, there's a little button on the side that you push up and down like
Oh, that's cool.
the Viewmaster.
Very cool.
I don't get the benefit of that.
What?
Like those VR thingies that require both your eyes to use.
Oh, because you have a bad eye. I do too, so I don't see the 3D hardly at all. But you don't even get that? It doesn't even work at all? Or
Barely.
because I can't see the 3D, but I can still... It looks regular to me.
I would probably just see the cardboard.
Yeah. Oh.
Wah, wah.
Sad
Yeah.
blindy.
Okay.
I played
Moving on from that. That's sad
like
talk. This isn't sad
Frosty.
overload.
Crossy Road in VR, which
Okay.
is very, very difficult.
So you're like turning your head to look both ways, like,
Crossy Road?
Yeah,
God dang it!
VR Crossy Road.
No!
You literally have to look both ways, and then you'll still probably get hit by a car.
Or if you take too long, you get carried away by a bird.
I don't think it does that. It's a very stripped down Crossy Road.
Stupid hipster whale.
And we were saving it for last, but...
Well, are we going to talk about Psychonauts 2?
Oh, I forgot. I didn't write it down.
Well, no, you...
Oh,
You
I
did,
wrote it
yeah.
down here.
Yeah. Anyway, whatever.
Well, that wasn't at PSX. The
Oh, it wasn't?
thing that was they're doing a VR Psychonauts
that's what it is.
spinoff also.
Okay.
But they didn't really say a whole lot about it or what it was. It was
Psychonauts in VR.
yeah, I think it was called the Rhombus of Ruin or something. And they do this great little reference to that Time cover with Palmer Luckey like jumping on the beach, and it was really stupid. Yeah, they did a joke about that where it's Raz from the game jumping up in the air with the VR helmet.
That's awesome.
Do we want to talk? Well, I guess we might as well talk about.
Yeah, might as well.
Right before this happened, there was a big announcement that Tim Schafer wants to do Psychonauts 2 and crowdfunding it.
Okay.
Not through Kickstarter, through Fig, which is like a crowdfunding thing that he helped start.
Okay.
Which I guess you can actually, it counts as an investment. You can actually get a return on it if you give them so much.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool at least.
So yeah, it's like a more fair Kickstarter.
Yeah. I mean, that's fine. It'll happen. They'll fund it.
Yeah. Oh, it's probably already almost there.
It probably
was
is.
like he needed like 3. It was the same amount that Broken Age made. He just asked for that again.
Okay. Well, then, yeah, it's going to get done. So that's cool.
And it's great. Psychonauts is a great game. The sequel will be great.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot to say.
Yeah.
Go fund it if that's your thing.
Yeah. Well, the other thing from the PSX we probably want to talk about is the Final Fantasy VII remake, right?
Yep.
Well, I guess wanting to talk about it is not exactly accurate. We should probably talk about it. We were really excited for when they announced they were going to do a remake originally because
when we thought it was
good.
a remake.
Yeah, it's basically a brand new game.
Yeah,
with a similar story to the original, but just a new game.
Yeah, it's more like a reboot than a remake.
Yeah, and I don't know how to feel about it.
Yeah, because they showed the battle, like a battle scene, and it looks like the Kingdom Hearts battle scene
where you're running around and slashing stuff instead of like the actual Final Fantasy where you
waited your turn.
Yeah.
wait your turn and
made tactical decisions.
Yeah. This time you just run up and just mash button until...
And you still have the menu on the side of the screen if you want to use a spell or whatever that works the same.
Yeah.
But you're also mashing the attack one, walking up to people and mashing the attack command.
Yeah, that's...
And it's never worked for me even in Kingdom Hearts. I never thought it was that great.
I've never been a fan. I always like the original ATB where where they're standing on one side and your enemies are on the other. And you wait your turn, you wait till your bar fills up, and then you can move and do something. But
that's what the game is. That's what Final Fantasy VII is.
Yeah. The other thing that they announced is that it is going to be episodic, which is, again, I don't know how to feel about it.
Yeah. Apparently, there's just so much content that they want to cover that they're going to split it into multiple games. They didn't say how many.
The Prelude to coming in February.
Yeah, probably. I mean, it's part of me can see what they're doing, why they chose to do it this way, because there is going to be a lot of content. Yeah. There was a lot of content in the original, and if they're going to pretty much pre-render, they're not pre-rendering everything. Yeah. Everything is going to be like actual interactable things. There's not like matte paintings in the background like the original. It's going to be a huge file size.
Yeah,
and
just
it would be
big open world.
And it would be way too much to put on a disc or multiple discs.
I can't wait to do Chocobo racing.
Yeah. If they keep that in there, I don't know.
If it's even in there.
They mentioned they are taking some things out.
They'll sell that to you as a separate game.
Yeah. That'll probably be like the your DS or your smartphone like companion app where you can transfer files from it or something. But anyway,
episode 4, the Golden Saucer. Which is a whole game of Golden Saucer.
you make a joke, but that could very well be it.
Quest for the Golden Chocobo.
Yeah, and part of me is I understand it. It is a lot of it is a money grab, I think. But it kind of makes the game a little more linear, don't you think?
Yeah, because you could go back at any time to all the... Well, not at any time.
The original, but this one, once you get past part 1, you're not going to be able to get back to... If you miss something, you're done. And so... But they have said that each section is going to be like the size of a full game, which is cool.
So what, like 8 hours?
I would say 8 to 12 probably. Yeah. I don't know. I just hope they don't price each one at like $60 a pop.
I'll bet they do though. I 100% bet they. I mean, it's Final Fantasy.
Yeah. And the other thing that kind of worries me is, if they're starting this now and say they make 6 sections, they chop it up into 6, because there were originally 3 discs and in the original PS1. Let's say they do 2 episodes per disc, okay? And they say it takes a year and a half to develop each one. It means the game as a total is going to be in development for over 10 years. By the time it ends, we could be on PlayStation 5. I think they're using the Unreal Engine for it. They could be woefully out of date by the time the game comes out. It could be the most beautiful thing now, and in 10 years be the ugliest thing coming out on the PS5.
We could all be playing games in our Google Cardboards.
We could
at that point.
Yeah.
You're talking about by then we're gonna have little jacks hooked up and plugged right into our
it's
brains.
Gonna be Sword Art Online.
Just think of if a new PlayStation comes out and they move the last couple episodes onto the new system. Think of how much of a pain it's going to be to transfer your save file from 4 to 5. If he lets you do that, or you'd have to start from scratch on the new system.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, maybe have to rebuy them.
I hate development hell.
Yeah. So I don't know how.
They're just going about this in the dumbest, wrongest way possible.
I don't know how they managed to take something that was so good, such a great idea. Remake Final Fantasy VII. It's arguably the best one of the series. I like 6 better, but that's just me. But one of the most iconic versions of the game.
It's one of the most important JRPGs of all time.
Yeah, and they've taken.
Come on, they've done how many spin-offs? An animated movie for it. I mean, it's nuts.
They've taken. This also makes me wonder if there's going to be a segment based on Advent Children, the movie.
Possibly.
And that makes me sad.
No.
Because I didn't like Advent Children at all.
I
Not
liked
one
it
bit.
in regards that there was cool, pretty stuff moving around on my screen.
Yeah.
I liked the end fight.
Yeah, the story was non-existent. It was and dumb.
Garbage.
But,
not enough Kate Sith. A robot cat riding a giant stuffed animal whose weapon is a megaphone. Not enough of that.
There was something else. He was like the mind of a Shinra scientist or something put in it.
He was being controlled by a Shinra scientist back at the office. Spoilers. Yeah, spoilers for the second disc. Gosh. But they took something that was great and they marred it.
It would be so easy to do. Like all people want is just the original game,
really pretty.
Redo the character models real good.
You know what? Use static images for the background like the original.
Just make them look real nice.
Make them look really nice.
Get rid of all the artifacting and the low quality JPEGs that they were before and just make them look real nice. Make the character models real nice. Make the battle scenes look really good. That's it. That's all they would have to do. Run it on the same freaking engine. I don't care.
Yeah.
And keep me crying when, the one thing happens.
Unless in this new game there is a DLC to not have that happen.
Yeah.
Nope.
It's a DLC that changes Sephiroth's sword to like an inflatable
a pool noodle.
Sword. So it goes, like 3 pool noodles taped together.
Oh gosh.
And lightning will probably be in it.
No.
That just made me think of one of my favorite things ever.
Oh, was where they put lyrics to the Sephiroth song?
They mixed the Sephiroth song "One Winged Angel" with the SpongeBob stepping on a beach.
Oh, yeah, it's pretty good.
Stepping on the beach.
It is pretty good.
I was like this close to having it blaring when I took my driving test. So like when I turned on the car, that's what you would hear. I was like this close.
Oh,
there was one I saw where they tried to translate the lyrics, and it was like a bunch of bunnies, spoons touching.
We wrote one about Chipotle.
Yeah, I forget how it goes. I'm not going to sing it on air.
Rice and beans.
All right, well...
Chipotle.
All right, hey, let's move on to our next thing here. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 had a trailer that came out, and surprisingly, it looks okay.
Yeah, it's not as bad as you would think.
I mean, the turtles still look like Shrek, but...
They look pretty bad, but everything else looks good. Like, Bebop and Rocksteady are in this, and they look like Bebop and Rocksteady.
They do, and I love the fact that Bebop has the freaking 80 shades.
Yeah.
Mohawk, it looks exactly right.
Yeah.
Megan Fox is still in it. That's a turn off, but
Turtle van that shoots manhole covers like the toy.
Yeah, oh, that was great. You know what? At least Megan Fox has like a yellow jacket in this, so
she had
at
a
least
yellow jacket in the last one.
She did?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess I wasn't really paying attention.
Womp womp.
Put her in a yellow jumpsuit.
Yeah, they should.
And actually, make her hair red.
Yeah.
That's a goal too.
Yeah,
I wonder if Whoopi Goldberg will come back.
I hope so. They're bringing Will Arnett back as Vernon, which he was fine in it. He was okay.
That movie's successful made him not funny.
Casey Jones looks great. I wish he had long hair.
Yeah, gotta give it up for the arrow.
But everything else about him looks right. And the fight scene that they showed in the trailer looked really good.
The mask definitely looks better in motion.
It does.
Than like the crappy
the static
stills.
ones. Yeah. I'm surprised they put Baxter Stockman in.
I know, and they made him African American like he was in the comic.
He's Medea. It's what's his name? Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry with a mustache and it's in a lab coat. From the people who don't know from the cartoon, he ends up turning into a giant fly person.
Also in the cartoon, he was a white dude because they didn't want
Shredder
yelling at a black guy and people getting all mad about it.
Well, yeah, but that's
great.
great.
Though Shredder was voiced by a black guy.
Yeah,
and Shredder yells at literally everyone.
And we saw an actual Shredder, not like a Shredder bot.
Yeah,
from the first one. The only thing that doesn't look right, like you mentioned before, were the turtles, and I think the problem is they're stuck with those models from the first movie.
Blech.
Everything else, like if they would have started with this movie, I bet they would have looked a little more like the actual turtles.
Yeah.
Because it seems like they've learned from their mistakes. They've learned from some of their mistakes.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way.
It seemed like they were kind of listening. Like people were like screaming about like wanting the things from nostalgia. I mean, like we want these things.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully Splinter's better.
Well, they showed a real quick.
Yeah.
But it was all CG, which
Yeah.
is it's fine. Like I said, if the Turtles looked as good in the first movie as Bebop and Rocksteady look in this movie, we would have a completely different movie, and our opinions would be totally different.
This is true. I mean, I might not regret seeing this one in the theater, but who really knows?
Oh, I'll go and see it again.
Oh yeah,
I'll spend the money. I'll drop my $5.
The first one was
You're
such
part
a
of the problem. No.
I
That's
fully
what we
admit
said.
I'm part of the problem.
That's what we said when we went and saw it last time. Was like you and me went and saw it, and then we hated it so much, and they're like, "Crap, they're probably going to do a sequel," and we put money into it.
We are
so
the
our fault.
We are the dumb reason why
And
they're
seriously,
making a sequel.
like a week later, they announced there's a sequel, and we're like, crap.
We made this happen. We did this.
I
Yeah.
still have never seen the first one.
You're not missing much.
Don't
Even
just
you
start
can
with the
watch
second
it on
one.
Netflix, and I haven't watched
just
it.
don't.
The story is dumb and full of so many plot holes. It's ridiculous. Nothing makes sense. The motivation for any of the characters makes no sense. The Turtles do not have any personalities outside the leader, the angry one, the techno nerd, and the dumb one.
Isn't that the original show though? Kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you could do more for character development. You could have maybe some reasons why Raphael is the angry one.
William Fichtner's character was completely underutilized in the first movie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Although I have a theory about that. I think he was originally supposed to be inside the Shredder armor.
Mm.
And they changed that at the last minute because they wanted an actual Shredder.
That when everyone was screaming about having a white Shredder.
That's why the main villain of the movie is not taken down by the Turtles. He is taken down by April and Vernon in a separate scene while the Turtles are fighting a giant Shredder robot. Because I think it was supposed to be Fichtner inside.
Iron Shredder.
He was supposed to be inside the armor.
That scene was stupid, too. Because he's sitting there, like, moving his arm when you shoot that gun and, like, pew, 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 pew.
Well, and I think at that point, like I said, I think they came back and reshot that at the last minute.
Bad.
I think Fichtner knew that it was going to be a bad movie, so he was just... just kind of gave up. Which is a shame, because he's a really good actor. Anyway, we have time for one more news article.
The one news article.
Yeah,
The one we've been covering for the past 2 weeks.
you thought we were going to skip it because we haven't mentioned it yet, but no, Mystery Science Theater. It's time, guys.
It's still going, and it still needs your money.
Actually, by the time everyone hears this, it will be over.
Oh, that's true.
It's done at 1 a.m. on Saturday. So it'll be over by about 8 hours by the time you hear this. But anyway, they've been making a ton of announcements this past week.
All the announcements.
Yeah, they've added... they've announced the writers list and people coming back and different artists. I'm actually going to pull it up here and we can kind of go through them real quick. because some of this is definitely worth. Yeah, there's a lot. Too much for me to memorize, and there's a lot. Okay, so they've been adding. Right now, they are up to a little past 4.4 million, which means there's going to be 9 episodes made. They have at the time of this recording about 2 days left to get funded for the full 12. They're going to do it. Even if they hit 5 million, I have a feeling Shout Factory is going to throw in an extra $500,000.
Somebody will.
Somebody will.
I mean, a lot of people are paying attention.
Yeah. And then let's see. Let's go through some of these. There's going to be the cast is going to be writing for it, which is good. Jonah Ray and Patton Oswalt are great riffers. If you watch them during like award shows. On Twitter.
Patton Oswalt's like a big old nerd, and I'm sure he is like eating the crap out of this.
And Felicia Day is a good writer. She wrote or at least co-wrote The Guild, which was her.
Good show.
It's a really good show.
Yeah.
And the two voices for the bots, Hampton Yount and Baron
Underbite.
Yeah, Baron Underbite. They're both stand-up comedians, so I'm sure they're going to do well. There's a couple of backers that have bought their way onto riffing a couple shows.
They're going to have like 2 jokes.
Yeah, well, that's fine.
It's going to be inconsequential.
But it's fine. The actual writing staff are just people that Joel has met through his travels that he thinks they're really funny. So they're a bunch of, up and coming like
writers.
But there are a bunch of guest writers like Dan Harmon, who's created Community and Rick and Morty, which is great.
Yeah. And Justin Roiland, who's also he created Rick and Morty.
Yeah. Rob Schraub, who I guess according to this, he was a remote writer for the original show. He did Channel 101 for
Justin and Dan.
Yeah,
that's like the third Channel 101 person on there already.
He's doing the new Lego movie, and I actually know him from the comic series Scud the Disposable Robot.
Yeah.
Which really great. He actually did a lot of Tick episodes as well. Nell Scoville. She's writing The Muppet Show, has worked on The Simpsons, Newhart, and The Gary Shandling Show, which is cool. They're all funny. Ernest Cline wrote Ready Player One, which is going to be made by Spielberg, is being made now.
Into a movie.
Into a movie. The book isn't super great, but it is chock to the gills with 80s references. And so, at least in that sense, great. And I should say, all these guest writers, they're going to be in for like an episode or 2. They're not going to be full-time writers. Paul and Storm's doing a bunch of music, which is cool. They're a great musical comedy act. Dana Gould was a Simpsons writer. Robert Lopez.
Oh, the guy that wrote Let It Go.
Yeah, but he also did Avenue Q and Book of Mormon.
Yeah,
those are great. Let's see, and they actually amazing. They also have some returning people from the original series. Charlie Erickson, he wrote the MST3K love theme, the song.
Scene. Oh,
love
God.
scene. Oh God, oh, God. some hot robot on robot action. Let me tell you. No,
clang.
He wrote the theme song. So that's great. He's coming back. Bees McKeever was she did a lot of the props, which is great. Chris Ballas, makeup designer, cool. And Paul Chaplin, who actually showed up on screen quite a bit, and he was in a lot of the later seasons. He wrote for like 144 of the 200 episodes that they did.
Wow.
So he's like the biggest like returning writer, and that's great.
Unfortunately, none of the original cast, but
as far as we know,
yeah.
If any of them come back, it's probably going to be Mary Jo Pell. The Riff Tracks guys have all said that they are gracious for the offer, but they're not going to do it. Trace Blue basically said that he wishes them all the best, but he's going with his 2-man show with Frank Conniff, who has turned it down and has been just a big old butt on Twitter about it. He's like, he turned it down and then immediately started bashing it. It's not cool, but whatever. They've added some art people, which is cool. Wayne White, who designed Pee-wee's Playhouse, is going to be building sets for him.
Which is like right up the alley of the sets.
It's perfect.
Of MST.
That's a perfect fit. The thing I'm excited for, Pendleton Ward and Rebecca Sugar, who created Adventure Time and Steven Universe.
Both very accomplished musical writers.
Mm-hmm. They're actually going to be doing a lot of art stuff, and they're going to be contributing backer rewards. And Rebecca Sugar's brother, Steven, who the main character of Steven Universe is kind of based on, is going to be designing like the ship layout and the Gizmonic Institute maps, which is kind of his thing.
Yeah, that guy does some brilliant background.
Well, he pretty much created Beach City for Steven Universe, which is awesome.
also loosely based off a town they used to live in.
Well, yeah, but still, I mean, he's a great layout.
Oh yeah,
artist.
oh definitely. Like I love that's one of the things I love about the show. It feels like a real breathing world.
Yeah. And let's see, a guy named Guy Davis. He is an artist behind the Sandman Mystery Theater, which is a really good Vertigo book based on like the classic Sandman character from DC. He's going to be doing a lot of art for them. There's also a bunch of design stuff. They haven't really like art stuff. They're putting together an art book, like a coffee table art book for it, which I'd love to have, but I can't afford. It's like $50, which is a lot for a book, but whatever. It looks really cool. Anyway, really excited for it. They're adding a lot of different great things, and
there's a big telethon. I guess it'll be over by the time it airs.
It'll be over.
They're doing a cool telethon.
Yeah, the final day they're doing a telethon, a countdown all night on YouTube. And they're going to have a bunch of special guests pop up. I think the Game Grumps are going to pop up at some point, and Starbomb and everything.
We'll probably watch some of it.
Probably next week.
Talk about it next week.
Yeah, probably.
But after that, you're done with Mystery Science Theater news till it comes out.
Yep. Oh, they actually updated while we were recording. They were at 84% when we started. They're at 87% funded at this point. It's
going to make it.
It's going to make it. They have made $4.77 million, so they are under $1 million away from getting a full season made.
Yay!
With 2 days left, that is super awesome.
We should get some sort of kickback for all the promoting.
We should. That would be great. Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. So they have a bunch of guests showing up next season, or at least he's offered for them to pop up. Jack Black.
That'd be a good fit.
Mm-hmm.
He would honestly make a good
host. Or a really good Mad.
Yeah.
He would make a really good Mad.
He's crazy enough.
Like if Patton wasn't the henchman, Jack Black would have made a good henchman. Joel McHale, which would have made a really good host.
Oh, especially like back in the day, like when
the
Mike,
Soup.
Yeah, when Mike was going out, if he would have been the next one.
Oh
like
man, that would have been
the early 2000s. It would have been perfect.
Oh yeah, they would have gone another 100 episodes with that. Bill Hader. Which I could see
amazing.
I could see him coming on as like a voice for like, because they've talked about making other bots, right? Neil Patrick Harris,
who is amazing in everything.
Yeah. Jerry Seinfeld, who is super good. Actually, he and Joel Hodgson are really good friends.
Really?
There's an episode of Driving in Cars to Get Coffee, Jerry Seinfeld's YouTube series, with Joel, and they were like comedy buddies from like when they both started stand-up comedy about the same time. So they have been friends for like 35 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and it was a really interesting, it's like the one episode of that Jerry Seinfeld show that I watched because I don't really care, but it was really good. And you could tell that they're buddies for a long time. And it's interesting. They don't have him listed here, but Mark Hamill has donated a not insignificant amount of money to this project, which makes me think that he is also going to pop up at some point because
why not?
Felicia Day backed it like at the first day, and she is in it. Jonah Ray backed it the first day and is on it. He backed it within the first week, and we don't know how much he gave, but it was quite, from what I understand, it was a good sizable amount.
I mean, come on. You know, Mark Hamill's got all that Star Wars money and all that Cartoon Network money.
In fact, here it is, back November 20th, which is about when it started. Here's the tweet from Mark Hamill. I just backed Bring Mystery Science Theater 3000 on Kickstarter. Finally put my money where my mouth is. Go Joel. So, yes. Oh, here it is. He is doing a cameo in Mystery Science Theater 3000, so it is happening. That is cool. Luke Skywalker and the Joker and everything. Super excited. I'm a little worried that a lot of like it's starting to become like Joel and Friends.
Yeah.
Like, open the door. Who's this guest gonna be? But
somebody's knocking on the door to the satellite of love.
Yeah, pretty much. But no, I'm still excited. I think it's gonna be great, and I'm glad to hear it's gonna have 12 episodes. It means that my backer amount actually is a deal instead of not quite so much of a deal.
I think a lot of this is just him publicly brainstorming too.
It kind of feels like it, but that's cool.
Yeah.
If you film it, the nerds will come.
Yeah, pretty much. And I'm hoping that it gets picked up by, at the very least, Netflix or someone like that. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about it. So I wish I could say go back it, but it's already done.
Yeah.
So, well, anyway,
if you did back it. Good job.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, why am I thanking you? We're not involved with it yet.
We've talked about
as
it
far
so
as
much.
we know.
Yeah, as far as maybe we're guests.
Yeah, who knows? They're inviting everyone apparently. Anyway, I think we've pretty much run. I think we've actually run over on time a little bit. So let's get out of here. You've been listening to Nerd Overload. Thank you very much for tuning in. Find us each and every day over at nerdoverload.com.
You can give us some likes on that big blue Facebook at facebook.com/Nerd Overload website.
You can email us with any comments, concerns, or requests at staff@nerdoverload.
Quests?
Yeah, quests.
You can
quests
give us
too.
quests to complete at it.
staff@nerdoverload.com.
I accept, no matter what the gold mounted is.
Yes.
You can tweets at us at nerd_overload.
I think that wraps it up. Thank you again for tuning in, and we will be back next week.
Pizza out.
This show was sponsored in part by MB Subculture Comics and Costumes.